Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to call a snap election on Sunday, but in the meantime, he's been on a campaign blitz. Just yesterday, the Prime Minister made a high-profile stop in Alberta in an effort to shore up support for a region that Liberals have historically struggled in. Roger Collins joins us in studio with a breakdown of what took place. Roger?
Manisa, tensions are definitely high between Carney and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. Following a meeting they had yesterday, Smith laid out a list of demands she says must be addressed within the first 6 months of the next Prime Minister's term in order to avoid what she's calling an unprecedented national unity crisis. Mark Carney is expected to ask the Governor-General to dissolve Parliament and call an election on Sunday, barely a week after he was sworn in as Canada's Prime Minister. And while it may seem as though the former Bank of Canada governor is striking while the iron is hot, Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith is making it clear she's ready for a fight.
Mark Carney is no friend of Alberta. He is the architect of the net zero banking policy and alliance, which was designed to stop funding oil and gas projects.
Now, it's no secret that the Conservative Premier is no fan of Carney or the Liberal Party, but that's not stopping the new PM from trying to gain the province's support. Yesterday, Carney held a photo op on the ice with the Edmonton Oilers before holding a press conference where he said this.
And I'm much more interested in increasing the competitiveness of our energy sector, of our manufacturing sector, of our AI sector, and working with industry and with provinces on specific ways to get those reductions, as opposed to, and last point, which goes to your question, as opposed to having preset caps or preset restrictions on preset timelines.
However, today, that gesture of good faith may have just fallen flat after comments made by the Environment Minister, Terry Duguid, were picked up by Smith, in which he said, quote, "We want that energy. What we don't want is that pollution."
This has been the same story for the last 10 years. Liberals come to Alberta, they smile for the cameras, they tell everyone how much they're going to work with Alberta and support the energy sector. Then they go home and proceed to do everything in their power to roadblock and scare away investment from the energy sector.
Now Smith has made her stance clear. Whoever's the next Prime Minister must meet her list of demands, all of which revolve around her province's largest export, oil and gas. From building new pipelines to scrapping clean electricity regulations and the net zero car mandate, it's a lot. And something that would no doubt be a huge undertaking for the next Prime Minister. Still, Carney's #1 rival didn't waste the chance to call it a reasonable list.
Well, the only way I could think of that was if they invoked the Emergencies Act to build pipelines, to basically overturn Section 35 of the Constitution, which is the Indigenous duty to consult, get rid of any rights that other provinces have. It would basically be saying Alberta's oil and gas sector trumps everybody else. And I don't think any Prime Minister would be able to do that.
In the post on X, Smith seems to insist her demands must be met in order to avoid what she says could be an unprecedented national unity crisis.
That's the veiled threat, right? It's if we don't get what we want, there will be a separatist movement in this province.
The Prime Minister, is he prepared to lift this destructive and unconstitutional production cap or not? Albertans and Canadians do want the answer before they go to the polls and not after, in fact.
Today, Mark Carney was in Ottawa meeting with the country's premiers to discuss interprovincial trade and the tariffs, but just moments ago, he said he would make applying for EI easier and allow employers to temporarily defer from their corporate income tax.